I'd like to welcome you to the plenary of the second day, following a very productive day yesterday for most of you. While I'm welcoming you for the second day of the Inspire Conference, for some of you it's probably day 3 or day 4 of a very busy week. This morning, we begin the day with a special topic. Yesterday, Professor McGlade mentioned the subject of globalization of Inspire. Yesterday afternoon, Alan Edwards of the European Commission offered that Inspire can be a European contribution to GEOS. With the maturing and successes of Inspire, the mandate can and will have global impacts. The plenary this morning is entitled Inspire in the Global Dimension. The format for this morning is we will have 4 presentations, and then I'd ask you to reserve your questions to the end of all 4 presentations so that you may address your questions to one or more of the speakers. And with that, I'd like to introduce the first speaker on the subject SDI in support to capacity building. Gavin Adlington is the program team leader for land issues in the Europe and Central Asian region of the World Bank. He has extensive experience in cadastre and land registration for over 30 years in most parts of the world, the last 15 of which have been mainly in Europe and Central Asia. He is currently overseeing a program that covers 18 projects in 16 countries of those regions. Gavin.
Thank you, and I'd just like to mention that this is a joint paper. We work very closely with the Food and Agricultural Organization, and Rumjana Tomczowska, who is sitting over here, is a joint author of this presentation. We in the bank and FAO primarily are supporting countries that are of middle income level and low income level. And we should not expect many of these countries to be in the same sort of level as you see in the European Union. I recall going back some years attending a conference like this one, and the Canadian delegate got up and talked about the advances in inertial navigation systems and how they were using it. The New Zealand delegation stood up and talked about their LINZ system for the sharing of geographic information, and the US delegate stood up to talk about the GPS technology and how it's revolutionizing surveying. And then the Zambian delegate stood up and said, "Can anybody tell me where I can find the little metal strips that you use to repair your tape? Because I haven't been able to get one for 2 years and I can't do any surveys." There's a big divide between what you are achieving here and what is happening in many of the developing parts of the world. Now, I work primarily in the Europe and Central Asia region, where the progress is much greater than you'll see in many other countries. Let me introduce first of all our ECHA land team. This is the countries we cover. The red ones are the former Soviet Union, and the blue ones are the Eastern and Central European countries. How do we work? Well, we have within our team about a dozen people who actually deal with land projects. We have links with the FAO, the Climate and Energy and Tenure Division, who we work in a cooperative program. We work also with a number of donors, and we hire consultants as well. And the cooperation with other donors, those are the other donors that we're regularly cooperating with in this land field. The cooperative program with FAO, you can see that land administration actually covers quite a high percentage of the work we're doing. It's such a key area. Everybody recognizes this. You know, in the World Bank, it's made up of economists and it's made up of sociologists mainly, with a few technical people like me. And the economists can see the value of land administration, and so can the sociologists. Well, over the years in this region, there have been some very rapid changes. Before 1989, everything was basically in state ownership, and mortgages unavailable, ownership rare or discouraged. Between 1989 and 2000, there were various programs to privatise land and property and establish registration systems, and since then they've been building on the reforms. So that you see the situation now, in Doing Business 2010, you'll find that 9 of the top 20 performers in registering property worldwide are countries from this region, from ECA. Whereas 15 years ago, they weren't even on the radar screen. Countries of the region, their GDP has increased by 2% more than has been seen around other parts of the world. Perhaps this is related. As far as the bank funding is concerned, we've had 39 projects in 22 countries, $1.2 billion in loan. This is the biggest land reform the world has ever seen. We're not saying the World Bank has, you know, we've been part of this. It's the governments themselves that have been doing this program. But as we looked at it, you know, we had to take a very staged approach. When you're climbing a mountain, you take one step at a time. You see this huge mountain up there, you can't just step straight to the top. You know, you take small steps until you get to base camp 1. You take more small steps till you get to base camp 2. Eventually you get to the top. But you can only take it one step at a time. And this is how we've had to look at the whole area of land administration. In stage 1, we focused on the land privatisation, restitution of property rights, institutional legal development. Stage 2, which I think is coming up, yep, was concentrating on protecting the rights that people had been given, getting the cadastre and registration systems running, improving services, and introducing IT systems and service standards. And that leads us into stage 3, which is really where we're at now, where we have 5 basic objectives. One is completing this property registration and making it all work properly. Then looking at a more integrated approach, that is linking all of the other agencies and organisations that need land information for their basic work. Then encouraging innovation, if you're going, and the use of SDI. If you're going to establish an SDI, then let's make good use of it. And you can develop new products and develop new things that you can provide to the public and other government organisations. And we're looking at how to improve the management and organisation and the use of this space data. And a key area always is the whole area of governance and the quality of standards. So let's get on to the theme at the top of the conference, which is how do you link then what we've been doing in the past in land administration with geoinformation, SDI and Inspire. And we look at the Geographics vision statement, which is, I think, very clear and a good one for considering as an objective. To provide state-of-the-art services to real property and land information market within the e-government framework, cooperating in building of national and European spatial data infrastructures. So we're looking at really the whole area of what we used to call a long time ago the multi-purpose cadastre. This is effectively what is actually really happening now. And when you look at what has been happening in the whole area of land administration and cadastre registration in the Europe and Central Asia region, many of the themes in your Annex 1 are already largely covered. Coordinate reference systems, the ones covered there in blue, geographic grid systems, geographical names, these sort of things have been covered already in that Europe and Central Asia region that we've been covering.